Have you ever had the feeling that something just wasn't quite right with your Craft running shoes? Smooth ride, nice rocker geometry, energetic foam midsole, but the upper, eesh. If you're like me, that upper was the missing piece for Craft. Craft has taken note and they have listened. So let's go for a run with the new Nordlite Ultra 2.0 and see if those updates really work. Every single Craft shoe I've run in, CTM Ultra 3, Endurance Trail, Pure Trail, all the same. Love the ride. Really like the different midsole foams that Craft has, but way too much volume in the uppers. So much volume, in fact, that the sides of the upper would come together at what typically should be the lace throat and even be touching without me being able to secure them enough for a halfway decent foothold. I've even gone so far as to trim down the inner edge of the eyelet holes and punch new eyelets. I did this with the CTM Ultra 3 just so I could really tighten them enough to hold my foot. All right, no more suspense. Yes, Craft has worked and updated their uppers. This was a big talking point at TRA. They actually said they had heard a lot of feedback about this particular issue. And yeah, as you can see, look at this lace throat. It's pretty normal, you know. If you look at those shots of the other ones, these two edges were touching and my foot was still loose. So I've got this shoe in US 9.5. The CTM Ultra and the Endurance Trail I tested in 10s. So then I went down to the 9.5 for the Pure Trail, and that one was still touching. So I went with the 9.5. I was able to try on, you know, with all the talk of the new up. Maybe.
Come on. Yeah, that's great. Oh, hey, what's up?
Hey guys, what's going on? Cowgill Boise down there. I should probably jump in, but started up on this review, so. There they go. So yeah, I did go with a US 9.5 in this. I tried them on at TRE just to get a sense of how the fit changed. And I did notice that, yeah, definitely, I noticed this right away at TRE when I tried on. I don't remember which model it was. I also noticed that in the 9.5, I do have not a full thumbs width. I would say 3/4 of a thumbs width. And it felt good. I don't think I was really focused on the toe space at TRE. I was really just looking at this aspect and I said, okay, well, the toe space is enough. But if you'll notice here, and this is with Craft shoes in general, they use quite a rocker up front. So from here to here, you have quite a big upward toe sweep here. And I do find that in this US 9.5, I am a little squeezed. I think I would prefer to have a 10. My first run, I got some rubbing. It does taper a bit. Craft shoes do taper. So they have a narrow tapered toe box. 4-foot width is just fine. I have no problems here, especially now that the throat is wider. I can get a really good fit here. No squeezing here. It just comes a little tight here. So I did get some, hey there. I did get some rubbing here on my right toe, not my left toe, and that's just due to it coming in a little bit tighter at the front of the toe box. Whew, kind of busy around here. Mountain bike day. My daughter is doing the mountain bike team, limbs, and I think the parents drop the kids off, and then everybody heads out on the trail. So Thursday evening on this side of the trails, it's quite a busy day. So with that rocker in combination with the tapered toe box, you can be susceptible to a little bit of squeezing. You know, as that rocker rolls forward, that's kind of squeezing your toes at the front, at your toe off there. So I did notice the very front left tip of my right big toe is getting rubbed over here, and I generally feel like my toes, especially at the front of the rocker there, when I'm toeing off, I do feel the toes pressed together. So not like some shoes where you're splaying out, you're getting squeezed together through your foot strike here. It hasn't bothered me too much. I would say the first run, that was noticeable. Second run, a little bit. I think this is my 5th run or so, and there's an Ortholite insole in here. It seems to have kind of bedded down just a little bit, and maybe I'm avoiding that right now. It feels fine, but I will say the next craft shoe I try to get a hold of for testing, I'm gonna go for a US 10. I just think I generally, the first few runs I did run in ultra light socks. This is a little bit thicker, and Silent sock here, it has a more padded toe area. So I was trying to see, well, maybe that will help, and it seems to, but I think it's also a bit of the breaking in that's also helping. So taking a look at the insole here, bugs, couldn't find any specks. I have my ruler, so I got a pretty reliable 3.0 millimeter there. It's a road to trail outsole, road to trail design. I ran, and I have been testing this a bit on roads. It's kind of smooth, but you know, it's a lot of rubber on there. There's still lugs. The ride in general is smooth, so it feels good on the road, but it's also, again, a little bit heavier. Not necessarily an ideal road shoe, but for kind of stuff like this that I'm running on, gravel, you know, all the rage these days, it's really just perfect for that. One quick detail, if you'll notice, if you looked at Craft's website, they had a different tongue. They seem to have a thinner tongue that kind of laid a little bit more flat. I don't know. This one seems a little bit higher, which is good. It seems a little bit thicker. You know, I'm just going based on the picture there. This tongue is really nice. No issues, obviously. It's one of the nicer ones because plenty of space. No chance of this lace knot biting your ankle at all. So maybe they had some feedback on the pre-production models, but those pictures are still up on their website. So, you know, this is a test sample they sent me. I assume this is what you will get. Sometimes they take pictures, different brands. The Puma DV8 Nitro Elite was similar. I think that had different colors and a slightly different tongue. I don't know what it is with tongues. Maybe they just kind of switch them up. They throw something in there for the pictures and then make something else for production. I touched on the weight at that stop back there. I want to really talk about the upper first. That's really the most important thing, but this one clocks in at 10.5 ounces, 298 grams. So it's not a very light shoe, but you do have 40, 34, 6 mil drop, pretty healthy stack underfoot. That's Craft CR foam, which is a supercritical EVA. It feels really good on the run. I would say, you know, despite it being EVA, it is supercritical. I wouldn't say it's overly bouncy, maybe like a TPU or PBA. 34 feels really great under my forefoot, very protective. And it does feel like 6 mil drop, that's for sure. I think it's more oriented towards this kind of running, you know, like flat, dirt, gravel. Don't really think it should be used as a dedicated trail shoe. It just feels like I'm kind of locked into that 6 mil drop, not much adaptability underfoot. So it does cruise really nicely, really smoothly with that rocker at the toes, like I pointed out earlier. But on trails, just don't feel like I have that adaptability underfoot. It feels a little bit treacherous at times. 10.5 ounces, again, not super light, but you're getting a lot of rubber underfoot. You saw the outsole, a lot of coverage, a lot of durability, a lot of stack. And they're also coming out with a Nordlite Pro. And I think that's gonna have a different foam. I would assume that's also gonna be high stack and lighter. So I don't think they wanna go too crazy with this one. If you're looking for a more dynamic ride, perhaps more energetic foam, they probably want to steer you more towards the Pro model and maybe have this one for kind of light trails, road to trail training type of days. I'm clocking right along here at 7 minutes per mile. I think I'm not going downhill right now, maybe 1% or 2. It's gonna pick up the downhill grade a little bit, but it cruises. The ride, I feel, for this kind of terrain, really great. You saw me kind of cross a stream, hit some rocks. I'm gonna come across some little uneven rocks at the bottom of this dirt road here. And in other test runs, kind of gravelly terrain, really just eats it up. Again, a lot of foam underfoot. There's no plate, anything like that, but with 4034, it's still very protective. I find a really continuous kind of rocker profile. You know, not a rocker so much in the heel, but going from 40 to 34, from the heel to the forefoot. And then that's pretty much right under the ball of the foot is where that toe sweep starts, that front rocker. So it just feels like it's just a continuous kind of roll from the heel through the forefoot, through that rocker in the toes. Now, I don't heel strike specifically, but if you did, and I am a little bit right now as I go down here, that's kind of how it feels. For me, I get a really good, well, let me take a break here and point it out after I go through here. Yeah, for me, I find a really nice sweet spot, like right here. So you got 40, 34, and then you get into that front rocker. And my landing, if I really get it nice and solid on the midfoot, it's got that 6 mil to get you into it, and then right into that rocker. So I find it has a very, very nice sweet spot in terms of that geometry working between the drop and the rocker up front. Really nice. I could just like lock into whatever pace I'm at, and just the shoe just rolls. Really nice. Now the shoe is certainly manageable through maybe some parts of technical terrain, moderate terrain, but I really think that's going to be more dependent on your ability level as opposed to the shoe itself. Just don't think it's designed for that kind of thing. So in terms of maneuverability for ground platform, I measured 117, 74, 90, which is kind of mid-range. You don't have huge flare outs. It's not super wide. It's also not super narrow. It's kind of, it is what it is. It's a road to trail shoe that could handle some trail and also be okay on the road. That platform's actually very close to the Salomon Aero Glide 3 gravel. Does anybody want to see a gravel comp? Let me know down in the comments, please. So I wanted to pop my shoe off here for the closing thoughts. Kind of busy back there. I don't want to be a little weird talking away with one shoe on in the middle of the trails. Take a look at this shoe here. Again, 4034, no plate. You see, it's quite flexible. It's not a stiff shoe. I just feel like the geometry kind of locks you into it. So, you know, as I was kind of articulating before, my sweet spot, if I hit this blue, it seems to just be color. This doesn't really indicate anything, but I do find that that seems to indicate a sweet spot of landing, at least for me. If I land right in that blue zone right there, you know, I'm already at a 6 mil kind of forward lean, and then it just gets right into that rocker. So there's a decent amount of flex. It's not crazy flexible, but there is no plate, so there is some articulation. I think you could handle this in technical terrain if you were kind of a bit skilled. You just have to factor in that toe rocker. You're not going to get as much ground feel at the front of the ball of the foot, I would say. You know, once you hit here in the sweet spot blue zone, you're kind of getting into that rocker right away. So once it gets uneven, you may find that a little tricky. You know, if you are a good runner, you can manage it. Quick look. Ortholite insole here, not my favorite. In the CTM Ultra 3, they did have a beaded TPU midsole. So I don't know, maybe there was just enough stack in here, it didn't matter. And again, with gravel shoes, I don't think this is a shoe to be running through streams in. So the Ortholite thing is not so much of a big deal. It's very breathable for sure. The front of the toe box, there's kind of one strap. So there is a felty kind of overlay on the inside running just like this. You can kind of see it. I don't know if you could see it right there. And the same thing on this side. So you kind of have a somewhat of a underlay strap over the midfoot going right here. And this is all breathable engineered mesh up front. The shoe has been great. It's been kind of on and off warm recently. Breathability has been great. Haven't run through streams too much. I don't think that's really necessary in this shoe. But again, you have good midfoot hold there. So yeah, I think the big thing here is surely the upper. Craft has fixed their uppers. They have a nice little kind of thing here. Swedish flag on, let's see, one aglet. There's 4 aglets. These are called aglets. I'll check that, but one of them has a Swedish flag. That's a nice touch. Craft has updated their uppers for sure. Definitely nicer. I would, as far as sizing, I think I would recommend, if you have very narrow foot, you might be able to go with true to size. If you're maybe coming from a road background and you want something for road to trail, do some gravel paths, that kind of thing, and you're used to more of a tapered toe box, then I would say true to size is probably fine. If you have a wide foot, definitely go up half a size. If you're aware that you don't like your toes being squeezed, or you're aware that in a rockered shoe, you don't like your toes being squeezed, or if you're sensitive to pressure on the inside of the big toe, because I could kind of feel it on the run. It's just the shape of the toe box. It's kind of on the side of my big toe. It hasn't been an issue for me, except for the one run, like I said, it's broken in, so it's fine. They've broken in well. I like them now. I think I'm okay at true to size. Ideally, I'd probably want to have a 10. So again, if you're sensitive to that kind of edge of the big toe, I would go up a half size. If you have a wide foot, 100% go up a half a size. Craft, it might not even be for you. Yeah, very happy with this Craft shoe. I'm excited to test more Craft shoes in the future. I have an affiliate link down below for Craft. If you found this review helpful, go down there in description, and you feel like purchasing this shoe again, and you find that that's the best price you can find, click through my link and go through there. Or if you found this review helpful and maybe you want to buy another Craft shoe, you can still click through there and it will help me out. Just help support the channel. If you found this review helpful and informative, hey, why don't you give a shout out to Craft and tell them that this review really helped you out, and say Humble Running sent you. That would be cool, wouldn't it? You don't have to do that. Just an idea that I thought of. Anyway, I am excited for Craft now. I feel like I could actually run in their shoes. This is normal. This is great. Looking forward to trying the Nordlite Pro. They have a couple other models in the pipeline that I did see at TRE. So, you know, again, maybe reach out, see if you can get me into some of those test pairs. I would love to run in them, test them out, and give my feedback to you. So thank you for watching again. Oh, by the way, gravel comps. What do you want to see? Let me know down in the comments.